In the previous video, we had created a class called student. This class had the properties name, class, roll number, section, and marks. These are the properties which every student in the group will have. Now we will create objects for this class in the main function, and we will also add data to the objects through the main function. We write the name of the class, that is student here, and say st1 to represent a student. Other students can be represented by st2, st3, st4, etc. We can have any number of students. Any number of students can be represented using this class. To access any property of the class, we use the dot operator. We write the name of the object, that is st1 here, and the property separated by a dot. When we write the name of the object and a property or attribute of the class separated by a dot, the whole thing is treated as a single variable. So we write the name of the class, that is student here, and then st1 as an object of this class. Now st1.name is given an arbitrary value, that is Mohan. Similarly, all the other attributes of this class are given arbitrary values. For example, st1.class is assigned the value 10, st1.roll number is assigned the value 33, st1.section is assigned B, and st1.marks is 45. Now I will run this program. When we run it, we get errors. This is the screen we get. Now here we need to understand the term access modifier. There are three access modifiers in C++, that is private, public, and protected. A private variable can be used only in the class in which it is declared. No other class or even main can use it. When we declare a variable in a class, C++ automatically creates it as private. So the variables we have created in the class student, that is name, class, roll number, section, and marks, have automatically been created by C++ as private. And since we are using them in main function, we are getting error because no other class or even the main function can use private variables. Coming to public access modifier. A public variable can be used by the class in which it is declared and also in all other classes. Main function can also use it. To correct the errors, we need to declare the variables in the definition of the class student as public. So we need to declare name, class, roll number, section, and marks as public variables in the class student. The third access modifier is protected. The protected access modifier will be used when we study inheritance. Here we have a bigger class and a derived class. All the properties of the bigger class are passed on to the smaller or derived class. The variables we want to use in the bigger class as well as in the derived class can be declared as protected, and the ones that we want to use only in the bigger class can be declared as private. You will be able to understand this properly when you study inheritance in detail. At that time, you can understand this. As we have seen, the variables name, roll number, etc. in the class student were created as private variables by C++. This is the default. C++ creates all variables as private unless we specify otherwise. This is the reason why we are getting errors while compiling the program, because we are trying to use the class's private variables in the main function. So here we need to specify these variables as public so that we can use them in the main function. This is done by adding the keyword public colon before the variables. Now when we run the program, it runs successfully. So we have added data to the object st1 via the main function. Another thing we need to do is to access the member functions of the class student through the main function. So the member function here is set section. It has only one member function, which is set section. And what this function does is it assigns a new value to the section. It changes the section of the student. So we pass a value new section to this function, and then it assigns this value, which is new function, to the section of the student. We have passed the value c to the function set function of class student. This function, that is set function, it changes the value of the section of the student, which was d earlier, to c now. So this is the output we get on running the program.